Still a long 2.5 or 3 yards there. And it's intercepted.
Well, hello. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to check out this video. Welcome to the Gridiron. Before we get started, I just want to say thank you so much to everyone out there who's been watching my videos. Thank you. If you can maybe give this video a thumbs up or possibly leave a comment below, maybe even share this video, it would mean so much to me. But anyway, just thank you so much for just taking time out of your day to check out this video. Thank you. Well, now, what would the Giants get in return from another team? If one of those other teams wanted to trade up for, like, maybe Malik Willis or Kenny Pickett. Now, Malik Willis he seems to be the hot item. He's the hot ticket. Now, Kenny Pickett seems like he's gonna, obviously he's going in the top. I don't know, dozen, 15, 20 at the I mean, I don't think he's getting past the Steelers. I mean, there's no trades whatsoever, because he did a very good job at his pro day, which really helped him out a lot. So we'll have to wait and see. But Malik Willis seems to really be the hot item. And there's a bunch of wild cards in there. Even the Detroit Lions, from what I'm just hearing. Yeah, you have no idea. I mean, are they happy with Goff? I mean, they think it's, well, we're going to ride it out with this. I mean, Goff ain't that old. You got a lot of tread left on those tires. I mean, they think he's the guy. They're going to ride it out with him forever. Yeah. So I mean, don't be surprised that Detroit takes him. I mean, because the thing is with Goff is that they got Goff. Because Malik's a little work in progress. You're not putting him in there, day one and, okay, kiddo, here's the keys of the city. Go get him, Tiger. He's got some stuff he has to work on, and it's going to take some time. So I mean, maybe he sits for a year, and maybe you put him in the next year, so, whatever. But he's a little bit of a work in progress. But it just apparently the upside is can be quite tremendous, and he seems like he's a phenomenal human being, wonderful teammate, and as I said, a great human being. So I mean, he seems like he's the hot item. Detroit's a wild card. Carolina's a wild card. You don't know what they're going to do. They need a quarterback. But the thing is, I said this in one of my other videos. It was a quarterback. Yeah, okay, I did a video on possible quarterbacks that Giants could target in this upcoming draft. I talked about Rule, the head coach of Carolina, in that video. And Carolina, they're a little bit of a wild card, because the thing is that Rule is his third season. Rule came in with Judge, right? Judge had 2 lousy seasons. Judge is gone. Rule has two lousy seasons. He's still here, so he's on the hot seat. So the thing is that for them to turn the team around a little bit, pick number 6, they can maybe get a tackle. Thibodeau falls there, maybe a little Sauce Gardner on the side, So I mean, you get somebody like that on your team, plug those guys in, plug and play. It's going to help your team. Drafting Malik Willis is not going to help your team this year. It's going to help your team maybe next year, maybe the year after that. The problem is that if Rule drafts Willis, he's not helping his team this year. So anybody that could help Carolina's team this year, they're not drafting in the first round anyway. So Rule's team may not be much better, if any, than it was last year. And if they have another crappy season like they did last year, with Sam Darnold, he's gone. So it's like, well, do I want to draft a quarterback that's not going to help me? Yeah, maybe the quarterback's going to help the next coach coming in because he's not helping my team right now, and I'm fighting for my life. I'm fighting for my coaching career. I mean, if he gets canned, he'll wind up on his feet someplace in college. He did a phenomenal job, with Baylor. Very, very good job in college. And he hasn't done anything to hurt his damage his reputation at all, in the pros here. So he'll land on his feet. If he gets fired somewhere in college, he'll get something. No problem, no questions asked. But I mean, he's fighting for his job. So I mean, he would probably rather, draft somebody they can plug and play and help his team immediately than draft a quarterback, that might help the next coach who comes in. Then the other problem is that, with the Carolina, with their GM, it's like, if they have a bad season, they draft Willis, they have a bad season, Rule's gone, they bring in a new, or try to bring in a new head coach. It's like, yeah, okay, the GM's like, yeah, by the way, Malik, that's your quarterback. The coach might be like, I don't want that. So that might, have some potential coaching candidates shy away from the Carolina job if, this is your quarterback. So it's a tough situation right there. So they're a wild card, all right, without question. You don't know what they're going to do, right? So, which also leads us to the quarterback needy teams, maybe want to try to trade up, and if he makes it to the Giants in number 5, Malik Willis, just saying, you got there's a bunch of teams. You got the Falcons, you got the Seahawks, you got the Commanders, number 11. But I tell you what, I think I'd have a hard time seeing the Commanders and the Giants trading, especially for a quarterback. They're on their own division and all that and everything. I have a hard time seeing that happening. But quarterback needy teams. You got the Saints at number 18. You got the Steelers at number 20. All right, so and I heard anyway. Mike Tomlin likes Malik Willis a heck of a lot. So they're going to need some firepower to come from number 20 down to number 5 and number 7. But you don't know. But with Carolina, they're a walk-off. But there's a chart, all right, and this is what I'm going to go over. I'm going to go over like some possibilities of what the Giants can do with 4 different teams, right? With it's kind of pretty much not there. You got the Falcons and the Seahawks. One's 8, one's 9. So what the Giants would wind up getting for the in return from the Falcons at 8 and the Seahawks at 9 isn't much different. Then I'm also going to, if we're going to go stone cold crazy, and we're going to go the Saints at 18 and the Steelers at 20, what the Giants might get in return from those 2 teams. All right, and I'm going to kind of revolve it around this chart. It's it was made up by Jimmy Johnson, okay, the coach of the Cowboys. I don't remember exactly when it was, 1990, 91, 92 he created it. I'm not exactly sure. But since then it's been altered a little bit. There's the original, there's a Jimmy Johnson chart, okay, and then there's other ones. They're all pretty much the same. But it's another one, that might change a couple numbers here and there or whatever. But a lot of it's pretty much the same. But he's the one that started it all off. And when he kind of started it all off was when they traded Herschel Walker. They were 1-15. They traded away their best pick. In 1989, they traded away to the Minnesota Vikings. And in return, they got a boatload of picks. They got like 4 players and 8 trade. They also sent return to Minnesota a couple picks too as well. But in return, they got 4 players. I got it right here. They got 4. They got Jesse Solomon, David Howard, Isaac Holt, Alex Stewart. Then they got 3 first-round picks from Minnesota. 3 second-round picks from Minnesota. They got a 3rd-round pick from Minnesota, and they got a 6th-round pick from Minnesota. So basically, they got 3 firsts and 3 seconds, and 4 players for Herschel Walker. So what it was is that Jimmy, he took those picks and turned them into gold, and that's one of the reasons why the Cowboys got their dynasty back in the 90s. They won in 92, 93, and 95. 3 Super Bowls in 4 years. But that was from the draft. And then he realized, like, we can draft. We're doing good at drafting. So he made a point to maybe trade guys and get extra picks and all that to help his team. But as I said, he came up with this chart. All right, and the values of the picks, like the Jaguars, pick number 1, according to his chart, the Jaguars pick is worth 3,000 points. Pick number 2, the Lions, is worth 2,600. The Texans, pick number 3, is worth 2,200 points. The Jets pick number 4 is worth 1,800 points. All right, now it goes down by hundreds because pick 4 is 1,800 points for the Jets. Pick number 5 for the Giants is 1,700 points. All right, and then likewise, pick number 7 for the Giants is 1,500 points. All right, so that's according to Jimmy Johnson's chart, and I said there's some other charts out there that they're all pretty much about the same. All right, so if the Falcons at number 8, wanted to trade up to number 5, the Falcons draft pick number 8, according to the chart, is worth 1,400 points. All right, if they wanted to go from 8 and jump in front of Carolina, because Carolina's a wild card, and I'm just saying Malik Willis makes it to the Giants at number 5. And the Falcons want, a quarterback, all right, because they're going to really think they're going to need a quarterback, okay? They got Mariota, right? It's on a 2-year deal, I believe. Not a long-term deal. He's just kind of holding the torch. But they get somebody else in there and teach them the way and all of that, and then Mariota can pass the torch off to the next quarterback, and So I mean, if they don't get a quarterback this year, they'll try to maybe get one next year. But anyway, if they want to jump in front of Carolina at number 5, take the Giants' 5th pick, all right, and Falcons number 8 is worth 1,400 points. The Giants is worth 17. So the Falcons would have to come up with 300 additional points to trade the Giants. So what would that mean? Falcons' 3rd round pick, all right, is worth 220 points. It would be pick number 74, and the Falcons' 4th round selection would be selection 114, is worth 66 points. So basically, they're 1,400 points. Their 220 and their 66 would give them right around 1,700 points. So if the Falcons, according to this chart, wanted to go from 8 to 5, the Giants would get the Falcons' 1st pick. They would get picks number 8. They would get their 3rd round selection, number 74, and they would get their 4th round, number 114. So they've got a 1st, a 3rd, and a 4th. All right? Then the Giants would have back-to-back picks. They would have 7 and 8. If the Falcons wanted to trade up to number 7, all right, say a quarterback gets passed and Malik Willis is still there at number 7, or they want Kenny Pickett or something at number 7, Falcons got to move up one spot. Why do they want to do that? Well, because somebody else can jump in front of them, right? I mean, what do you want to take a chance, right? So the Giants pick number 7 is worth 1,500 points. Falcons pick number 8 is worth 14, so that would have to come up with an additional 100 points. How would they do that? The Falcons' 4th round selection, pick number 114, is worth 66 points. The Falcons' 5th round selection is worth 30 points. Pick number 151. So Falcons would get, right, pick number 7. The Giants would get Falcons number 8. They would get number 114 and 151. They would get a 1st, a 4th, and a 5th to go back one spot. And pretty much you realize that the only reason why they're trading up is to get a quarterback. So the Giants aren't losing out on anything at all. They're moving back one spot. All the guys that they're interested in will still be there. If this were to go true, all right, Malik Willis or Kenny Pickett would be gone, and Giants could care less. The Giants picked up an extra 4th and an extra 5th. Pretty good, all right. Now, if the Seahawks at number 9, okay, their pick number 9 is worth 1,350 points. All right. They wanted to jump up to number 5 in front of Carolina. Giants, once again, their pick number 5 is worth 1,700 points. The Seahawks pick number 9 is worth 1,350. So if Seahawks will have to come up with 350 additional points. How would they do that? The Seahawks' third round selection is worth 230 points, pick number 72. Their fourth round selection is worth 76 points, pick number 109. And their fifth round selection is pick number 152 is worth 29 points. That would give them right around 1,700 points. A little less, but right around there. So basically, it may not be exactly how it goes now, but this would be probably kind of close to what would happen. Seahawks would get pick number 5. Giants would get pick number 9, number 72, 109, and 152. All right, so the Giants would go back 4 spots, and they would get they'd get pick number 9. They would also get a third, a fourth, and a fifth. Not bad. That's not too bad. I mean, would they want to go back 4 spots? Miss out on maybe a tackle or something. I mean, who knows? But the Seahawks just wanted to jump up to number 7, maybe leapfrog right in front of the Falcons, right? The Giants pick number 7 is worth 1,500 points. Pick number 9 is worth 1,350. So the Seahawks would have to come up with an additional 150 points. How would they do that? Their fourth round selection worth 76 points. Okay, they would have to possibly give up they would have to maybe swap picks or something like that, because the Seahawks, their fourth round selection is worth 76 points. They got 2 fifth round selections, which are like 30 points apiece. They don't have a 6th rounder. So actually, they would have to either come up with another pick from next year and give it to the Giants, or what they can do is like flip-flop picks, right? Seattle's third round selection, pick number 72, is worth 230 points. The Giants' fourth round selection, number 112, is worth 70. Okay? So in this instance, Seattle would get pick number 7 and 112. The Giants would get 9 and 72. So the Giants would go back just 2 spots in the first round from 7 to 9. But instead of drafting at 112, they go from 112 up to 72. That wouldn't be too bad. So that they might have to do something like that, because for Seattle to come up with like an extra 150 points, I mean, they couldn't do that. They could, their fourth rounds, their fifth round, they don't have a 6th round. Their 7th round is only worth 1 point. So unless they want to give them draft picks from next year, conditional picks from next year, that's quite possible too. But I'm saying, they might like flip flop, something like that. So the Giants might move back a couple, but then they, in the first round, but then they might move up a bunch. They might go from the 4th round to the 3rd round with one of their selections. That would be nice. They would have 3 third rounders. Whew. That would be nice. You have 6 picks in the top 81. Very nice. Very nice. Then you got the Saints. Their pick number 18 is only worth 900 points. So if they wanted to jump all the way up to number 5, Giants number 5 is worth 1,700. Pick 18 is only worth 900. So they would have to come up with an additional 800 points. Now, let's not forget, okay, the Bears to go from 20 to 11, just 9 spots, had to give up 2 firsts, a 4th, and a 5th. Now, here, the Saints would be going up 13 spots, not 9. And not only that, the Bears went from 20 just to 11. Here, we're going to the top 5. That's huge, all right? So the Saints would, no matter what, if they're going from 18 to 5, would have to give up 2 first round of this year, their first round of next year. It would have to be at least a 2nd rounder, okay, and possibly maybe a 3rd, right? Okay, because with the first round, I mean, it could be a conditional first rounder, because you don't know what the Saints are going to. The Saints could have a good draft, a good season this year, and their first round pick next year could be number 29. You don't know. I mean, would that be fair? Do you want to get pick number 18 and number 29 for your pick number 5? I don't know. That would be a tough one. But I mean, if they wanted to go up that far, 2 firsts would have to be a 2nd, a 3rd, possibly even more than that. Okay, and that's because what you do is you take trades that happened in the past, and you can well, this is what these teams exchanged, So we're going to need, something comparable to that. I mean, the Saints wanted to go from number 18 down to number 7. The Giants, number 7 is worth 1,500 points. The Saints, number 18, pick 18 is worth 900. So they have to come up with another 600 points. Same thing as with the Bears. Last season, the Bears moved up 9 spots. Here the Saints want to try to move up 11 from 18 to 7. And the Bears moved up from 20 down to 11. Here the Saints are trying to get to number 7. Same thing. Would have to be at least 2 firsts. Would have to be possibly maybe, the Bears gave up a 4th and a 5th. So, I mean, the Saints would have to give up probably 2 firsts this year, next year, probably a 2nd and maybe a 4th. Something like that. Just to be kind of comparable, right? It's because the Saints, their 2nd round selection is worth 410 points. Their 3rd round selection is only worth 110 points. You know what I mean? So, I don't. It would be a nice haul, but I mean, you have to say, do the Giants want to go from number 5 to number even getting those extra picks? It's like, you want to go from 5 to 18 or even 7 to 18? I mean, you're gonna get a haul, but would it be worth it? Then we go to the Steelers. Steelers at number 20. As I said, what I saw is Mike Tomlinson really liked Malik Willis a lot. Their pick number 20 is worth 850 points. Pick number 5, if they want to go up from 20 to 5, the Giants is pick number 5 is worth 1,700 points. Once again, the Steelers pick 20 is worth 850 points. So Steelers would have to come up with 850 extra points. So if we go by what the Bears did last year, all right, you're looking at least 2 firsts, 2 seconds, possibly even more than that. If we look at what the Bears did last year. Okay, the Bears moved up 9 spots. Here, Steelers are trying to go from 20 to 5. We're talking 15 spots down to number 5. I mean, if you're going from 57 down to 42, who the frick cares? I mean, it's not that big of a deal. But you're talking going to the top 5 in the 1st round to draft a quarterback. That's huge. I mean, the Steelers would have to give up picks maybe number 20 and number 52 this year, and possibly their 1st and maybe their 2nd pick next year. I mean, possibly even more. So, I mean, I don't know if the Giants would want to go from number 5 to number 20, but they would get a nice haul, nice boatload worth of picks. Same thing, okay, would be if they wanted to go down from number 20 down to number 7. Because, I mean, let's face it, they got Trubisky, I think, a 2-year deal. He's a torch holder. Here you go, Mitch. Hold the torch. You hold it for 2 years. After 2 years, you're probably gone, okay? Because we're going to draft or get somebody in here who can run the team, run the offense and all that. And hopefully we're going to draft somebody. They're going to take us into the future, right? Maybe not be a Hall of Famer, but they're going to run the offense for a long time to come, right? And you're going to be long gone. Because they got Trubisky, they got Rudolph, and they got Haskins. I mean Rudolph, Haskins, Mitch Trubisky is, he's decent. Okay, is that somebody they're going to want long term? I really don't see it, and that's why they just signed possibly just a 2-year deal because he's holding the torch. So if for some reason they want to go from number 20 down to number 7, Giants pick number 7 is worth 1,500 points. The Steelers pick number 20 is worth 850. So the Steelers would have to come up with an additional 650 points. That's the same thing. If we look at with the Bears. The Bears gave up 2 firsts, a 4th, and a 5th. So here the Steelers to go from number 20 down to number 7. 13 spots. They got to give up. Going to have to be at least this year's 1st, next year's 1st, maybe a 2nd, and maybe a 3rd. Maybe even more. I mean, it would be a nice haul for the Giants. So the Steelers this year would probably almost, no matter what, have to give up picks number 20 and pick number 52 this yeyear. There might be conditional picks next year, like if you guys do so good, then we want and if your pick is really bad in the 3rd round, we'll ask for get something else from you as well too, some kind of conditional pick. But I mean, if the Saints and the Steelers wanted to go from like 18 or number 20 all the way down, I don't really see it happening because unless there's one that is totally in love with Malik Willis, I mean, you really got to be totally in love with him. If you're going to give away a couple firsts and a couple seconds for this guy, I mean, apparently he's got some high upside to him. But you know, whoever it is going to have to be the one who's going to drag it out of them. If not, you know, they're going to suffer the consequences of giving up a bunch of draft picks. And as I said, also likewise, it's worth the Giants to go from like pick number 5 or pick number 7 all the way back to number 20. I mean, you know, you're missing out on a boatload of good players. And, you know, I mean, it might be worth it maybe next year. If the Giants need a quarterback, if they have some nice picks next year, they can bundle them up and move up into a spot maybe where they can draft a quarterback. Who knows? But I mean, it's just an example. You know, I mean, if you know, if they move back into the teens, it's you know, it's going to be kind of like what happened with the Bears last year. You go look at a couple firsts and a couple extra picks. Likewise, if they're just trading back with the Falcons or with the Seahawks, you're just going to trade first-round picks, but they'll get an additional, like maybe a third, an additional fourth. And in this draft, getting another third and an additional fourth would be, you know, I mean, you know, tight ends, running backs, wide receivers would be really, really good in those rounds. Well, as always, guys, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to check out this video. You guys stay safe out there and go Giants. Woo!